Well, hey, y'all, welcome to the Common Good Podcast. Jumping the gun on the countdown timer. We put up a 10 countdown timer, which we don't know why. Don't like it. And then I don't even wait for it to finish. Again, the things, human beings, Rob, you know, this work of being pastors, this work of being people, this work of being family members, having social location roles of fathers and brothers, uncles that we have, being in politics. You learn a lot about people.
Yeah.
I like people. Some more than others. And man, we are our own problems. Like, you can name all the problems in the world. You can blame a tree of truth and knowledge. You can blame religions. You can blame capitalism. You can blame socialism. You can blame communism. You can blame isms galore. You tally up the troublemakers. It's one of us. Every time.
Every time.
There we are. Just all in it.
Yep. Yeah.
Anyway, how you doing?
It's good to see it. I'm doing all right. Yeah. It's
but let's blame AI. Let's be sure, by God, that we just blame AI, because that's really, you know, it's not your neighbor, your uncle. Probably the algorithm.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Totally the algorithm. Yeah. But I'm doing well. The weather has turned beautiful here in Arkansas. It is just really gorgeous. And I've been very busy with campaign stuff.
Okay.
Back and forth to Little Rock. Got a chance to speak to the Young Democrats of Arkansas, which is the largest youth organization in the state of Arkansas.
It's just so good to hear.
At their convention. Last night spoke to the Washington County Democratic Party convention, and we're got a big event coming up on Sunday. A big event on Saturday when I'll be at the Fisher Shackelford dinner honoring women in politics in Little Rock.
The Fisher Shackelford dinner. It just sounds great. Yeah, what a great name. You gonna get a shirt that says Fisher Shackelford dinner?
I don't think so.
Oh, dude, that is
my second time attending. But the big news with
don't
this
miss the
is
shirt.
A former vice president will be speaking at the Fisher Shackelford dinner on
Vice President of these United States of America.
Former vice president of these United States of America.
There's not many that would speak at the Fisher Shackelford. Because
dinner.
One of them you'd have to call the former president, and let's just keep going back. And the other one's Al Gore.
Mike Pence.
Yes, I'm thinking the ones who would speak at the Fisher Shackelford dinner. Hey, this is a fun game. Now we're to Al Gore. You know, in our list of guesses, there's either the person probably who it is, or it's Al Gore, or that's it. There's two living Democratic vice presidents, former vice presidents.
Three.
Who?
Joe Biden.
Yeah, but doesn't that get replaced?
Yeah, but if you're talking about former vice presidents, he's a former vice president.
Yeah, fair enough. But I'm saying, like, if you were to say, hey, we're having the former vice president, there's only two people, Democrats, you could name.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
That's okay. There's so much baked into that about like who's won and the nepotism of who becomes the next president. Yeah. And then that vice president was actually trying to then become president.
Yeah. And
she was just
this is at
10
the
million
Fisher
votes away.
For dinner, we honor women in politics. So if that gives you any clue, so it's not Al Gore. And then on Sunday, I'll be having a big campaign event at the Goat Lab Brewery in Lowell, Arkansas. It will be me and Secretary of State candidate Kelly Grapp, one of my favorite people in the world, and
keep talking.
Candidate for the United States Senate, running against Tom Cotton, Hallie Schaffner, and so it'll be a great event. We're super excited. We're expecting a big crowd.
Wow.
There to hear me and Kelly and Hallie Schaffner. And Hallie's been, all over the place here in Arkansas in her campaign against Tom Cotton. So, yeah, super excited about that on Sunday.
Incredible. Hey, the
Here's a
sponsor
little campaign update there for everybody.
The sponsor of this podcast is the Hollyland mic. And Rob, I'd like to encourage you to purchase one of these.
Yeah.
They're small. They plug into your phone.
Yeah.
They are teeny. They just clip on like this. And I will tell you, your social media audio will be through the roof.
I have been thinking about needing to get something like that. So Hollyland.
Hollyland. HOLLYLAND, one word.
Yeah.
They have different versions. They're all inexpensive. I don't know, $79, $49, $99. Many people have said to me, Rob, they've said, hey, Doug, how come your audio quality on your on the road, out on the streets, melting ice is so good? Why is it so crisp? Why is it so clean? Why can you turn your camera away from you and yet the volume of your audio doesn't change? Well, the answer, friends, is Hollyland mics. Now, they are not a sponsor, but we would take it. We would take a sponsorship from anyone, just for pretty much anything. Like, you send us anything and want to be a sponsor of this program, you will hereby be a sponsor. Yeah. It's kind of like being a common good candidate of Vote Common Good. Go fill out the form if you're a candidate running for any office. You become one. You want to be a sponsor of this program? I mean, Melissa, Mayer, we'll make you a sponsor right now. This program brought to you by the comments from Melissa Mayer. But no, these Hollyland mics are so great. And I watch and listen to
What makes you bring that up?
When you are at say the name of this fantastic brewery that you're going to be at.
The Goat Lab Brewery.
You're at the Goat Lab Brewery. When you're at the Sure Shootin' Shigomiker dinner, there's a chance for your social media person or the camera you set up on a little pod somewhere showing the screen. And the sound will be horrible coming through the sound system and bouncing around. This microphone, Rob, will prioritize your voice because it's clipped right onto you, teeny, nobody even sees it. And great captured video and audio of you in the wild and everyone running for office with this common good message. So important. And honestly, so many campaign videos that aren't, like Ossoff and Pete Buttigieg and those guys in stadiums, like people that are like in breweries and town halls and veteran halls. The sound is tough. It's tough to struggle through. And we think our phones are good enough. Anyway, grab one of those, Rob. Let's get some great video. And let's next week have you bring a video clip of your best stuff. That would be so fun. People on this podcast would love to see it. If you're in the comments right now, and I see I'll be in there, tell us if you'd like to see Rob live in action off of a top quality recorded Hollyland mic.
All right, I like it.
Hey, I was on a podcast last week with Alex Wagner. She used to be on MSNBC. She used to be on HBO, The Circus. She's great. It was wonderful. It was a fabulous conversation. I think I'll pull the audio from that and put it into our podcast. I don't really know how to do it with the video without us getting into some sort of copyright zibby zab. Thanks for asking. It went great. We talked about Trump and religion and all the rest. But you know what was the best part? In the first... What do you think I'm going to tell you the best part was?
Well, I know what you're going to tell. I don't want to spoil your fun. Yeah, I do.
Oh, did I tell you guys already? Did I brag about it instantly?
Yeah, it was in the group text.
I mean, they're like, hey, let's just check your levels and your sound, and I do. And then this producer voice comes in and says, the best audio we have ever had on this show, which I've heard half a dozen times from CNN, Fox News, MSNBC.
Filmmakers.
And then at the end, Alex said, "Hey, really great having you, niceties," and then said, "And again, your audio and your whole setup, just incredible." Mwah. I was like, I went upstairs and then had to say to Shelly, because this is what I brag about. I'm like, all those hours I spend in the basement moving things around and all that stuff, it's all for this one vain moment of some podcast producer saying, "Thank you for the audio. I don't have to do anything to correct your audio for our podcast." It's so vain. It's so ridiculous.
Just the best.
So anyway, a bit of that is on my mind. Like if Robb Ryerse candidate also had the best campaign audio on social media, that would crack me up.
Well, that's great because we're about to launch a series of videos that hopefully we're gonna have a little bit of fun with, including Doug. I'm about to record a video where I will be reading the comment section on Facebook because people say mean things.
Wonderful. Yeah, they do. Of course, people say mean things.
And so we're gonna actually read one to Vanessa while we were having breakfast this morning, and she said,
Okay, hang on. You're at breakfast with your wife.
Yes.
And you're reading her comments that other people are making about you?
Yes, mean things people have said about me on the internet. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Rob. I'm sorry.
She said, "Rob, that's not funny. That's a death threat."
I sure hope you're going to read it, please.
Like, well, okay.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I don't have it.
I mean, I haven't heard a good death threat in a very long time.
I don't have it.
While you're looking it up, I'll tell you a story. I have a friend who works for an educational institution, and during ICE was outside their building, their educational institution building, because they had targeted the school because of a number of people who are there on certain kinds of scholarships and visas, and they were trying to round these people up. And curiously, at the time when ICE agents are stationed outside and cannot come on the campus as easily as they want to, there were a number of bomb threats made against this academic institution, presumably to drive the people out of the building into the arms of ICE. So he was talking about this thing they had to come up with to do a big workaround, like where the students are going to go and all this stuff. And he goes, and we all know that nobody makes a bomb threat who's actually going to blow up a building.
Yes.
He's like, bombers and murderers don't threaten. They do it. Other than the president of the United States threatening mass violence is not really a thing done by people who actuate the violence.
Yeah. Yep.
So you've gotten a bomb threat, which we will presume Rob is safe.
Yeah, there we go.
Fingers crossed.
Doug, since the last time we talked, the world has not ended. A civilization has not been wiped off the planet.
And the Strait of Hormuz is not indeed open. Iran has not made a deal. The fantasy sort of vision board of leadership that is Donald Trump.
He just chickened out again. And listen, I'm glad he did.
Because
I do not want this to happen.
That's right.
But I didn't want this to start with. But my goodness, he chickened out again, didn't he?
And you know what he's now leaking out about that before you get to your death threats? You know he's now leaking?
I can't, no, we have to. I would have to run downstairs to get the death threats. Is it worth it to you?
I don't know what's in it. Hey, look, I could monologue for
I know you can. All right.
45 seconds. Name a topic. Hey, so look, here's the thing about what Trump has now recently said, friends. He has now said, and leaked out through the White House, and said this to reporters. I intentionally wrote that tweets, Truth Social, about praise be to Allah on Easter because I wanted to give the impression to Iran that I was a madman and would do anything and was unpredictable. That's why I did it, to use it as a negotiating tool that they're dealing with a madman. Think about that for a second. It didn't work. And if you now say to people, I was just acting like a crazy person, I'm not actually a crazy person, you can't keep acting like a crazy person. And yet he keeps acting like a crazy person. And this wacko, corrupt man thinking he can say, I was only acting like I was out of my mind, so they would think they have to negotiate with me. They saw right through it, that you are out of your mind because nobody fakes being crazy as the president of the United States. The levels at which this crowd will come up with an excuse, because they're doing is trying to backfill all the people that have moved away from Trump because of his Easter post, praise be to Allah, his post the next day, an entire civilization will end tonight. He's now trying to come up with some 3D chess master negotiator thing explanation, and people are now buying it and saying he was just acting crazy so that they would negotiate. But if they know he's not crazy, then he's not acting crazy. He's less convincing than Andy Kaufman in the 1980s. He's not even going to get an REM song. Hey, Andy, are we goofing on Elvis or are we losing touch? He's not even going to have the a modicum of doubt whether this guy was faking his madman persona or not. Oh, Rob. All right, let's hear.
I don't know. I'm not convinced this is a death threat, but
Okay. Okay. Well, this can be a bit on the Common Good podcast. Death threat or comedic bit. Comedic insult.
It's not even that funny. I think this is a comment on a conversation that you and I had, Doug, where I was talking about not being afraid of immigrants.
Am I safe here?
Yeah,
I didn't know I was being called into your death threat vision board.
Yeah. I think this is where I was talking about not being afraid of immigrants.
Yeah.
And it says, I hope you are not afraid, but you should keep your distance and eyes open because you just might get killed by being too naive. Good luck, you simpleton.
Okay. That's not a death threat. That's a death wish. That's an external. I'm siding with. I'm going with Vanessa on this one. I'm thinking that is invoking. Whenever a person says to another person, "You could get killed," doing that, they're either truly warning you of a danger,
or they've got their fingers crossed. Oh, goodness.
Or they think that would be a better outcome than a number of other outcomes. Let's just put it that way.
People shitposting online should not be president of the United States.
Rob couldn't have said it better. Yes, people are going to do this online. Yes, people are going to write craziness. Of course they are.
There's going to be typos, and it's not exactly going to make sense, and you're going to have to wonder about what does this actually mean? We could be interpreted this way. It could be interpreted that way because it's so unclear. None of those people should be president of the United States.
Not everyone.
Including the guy who is.
You, but I am sick of this shit.
It's just so much, Rob. And look, as the title of the post is here, Americans are getting sick of Trump's corruption. And they don't just mean the financial corruptions, which we should talk about. They just mean he's corrupted everything. The self-serving corruption of tearing down the East Wing. You know, that thing that keeps coming up in this crazy ballroom that he wants to build, that is bugging me more and more and more as time goes on. I don't know about you. Anytime I see it or I think about it,
Oh, it's infuriating.
I think, oh, who do you think you are?
Yep.
And the only solace I have is that Donald Trump is never going to step foot in that ballroom as the president of the United States. Even if there's a ballroom built, it's not going to get done in time. Well, he's the president.
Donald Trump does not regret anything. He does not apologize for anything. He did express some misgivings about something we talked about last week. The Fayetteville DoorDash grandma.
He sure did.
The stunt that was that led to him, making the ridiculous statement about how he was a doctor in the Jesus picture. He referred to the stunt as a little tacky.
Yeah.
And embarrassing. Listen, this is a guy, and this is something we didn't talk about. When she walked up to the door and knocked on the door, I don't know if you noticed, but like in gold lettering, it now says the Oval Office above the door. Really? And he's got that ridiculous, gold-plated stuff everywhere. And I cannot wait for all of that stuff to be taken down. I cannot wait for the next president of the United States to just remove all of that stuff.
I'm trying to see if I have the DoorDash video clip, but I don't think I do. Pardon me, everyone.
This guy,
yes.
You know how bad something has to be for Donald Trump to call it tacky?
Yeah.
This is the king of tacky.
Yep.
We've seen the gold, bathroom fixtures and
literally gold toilet.
We've seen it. It's tacky. We've seen like how he has decked out the Oval Office with this ridiculousness. It's tacky. We have seen Mar-a-Lago, pants boxes, hidden away, aside. It's tacky.
Yeah, the shower, the bathroom where the pants boxes were hidden and moved that you see in video surveillance was super tacky.
Oh, for this guy who I have called the Hildy of of Oval Office decorating, and for those of you who are longtime TLC fans who remember Trading Spaces, the designer Hildy. Donald Trump is the Hildy of Oval Office decorating. And for him to call something tacky.
Yeah.
This is a guy who served McDonald's out a drive-through window while running for president of the United States. For him to call something tacky is really spectacular.
Well, in the same comments that he made about that being tacky, he said, yeah, they put me up to these things like the McDonald's deal. Super. He threw that into the list too. Yeah. And said, even though it became the most searched for thing, which is also not true. It was not the most searched thing for on the internet. Like he has this fantasy. Yeah. And he goes, but that's what got me to win. Yeah. But here's what I think is going on. I think Donald Trump, he's actually not competing with being a doctor. So even though he said, I thought it showed me as a doctor, he's really competing as a media strategist against all the social media and media strategists around him. He has a personality where he really thinks he's better at every job that everybody has than they are.
Yeah, especially media stuff. This is like, because it was these kinds of stunts, these kinds of things that were the activities that took place, the challenges on the Apprentice and the
Yes.
Celebrity Apprentice, and he would, sit in judgment of how it went.
Oh, I've never seen the show.
You've never seen the show?
I've
You've
never
The
seen.
Apprentice?
Look, because other than some episodes of The Amazing Race, out of just sheer wanting to enjoy something that my wife enjoys so greatly, I do not watch reality television. Somewhere deep in my soul, during the writer's strike, when they first came out with reality TV, I was not siding with the writers and producers, even though I should have been. I could see through reality television as scripted by producers and faked rig stuff, and none of it. The only reality TV show I ever enjoyed was 24, which I couldn't separate reality from 24. I thought that show felt to me like it was so real. That was just one day in the life of Jack Bauer.
Yeah,
that's it. So I apologize. The references to Voted Off the Island, any of it. I'm secondhand, thirdhand, just cultural zeitgeist details.
And I think that there's a bit of a in the Celebrity, in the Apprentice was a little bit of a mix. I think that there is a little bit of a difference between the reality show that is following around people in their quote unquote everyday lives, the Kardashians, the Real Housewives of wherever, versus a competition show, Survivor, The Amazing Race, like even The Apprentice,
Biggest Loser.
Is the Biggest Loser. Oh yeah, that was all fake too. So anyways,
they're all fake, right?
Doug, where are you?
Not that they're not entertaining. Fake is entertaining.
Sure.
I watched the Taylor Swift,
Swift
documentary.
Shows I watch are fake.
They're all fake. That's the whole point. The whole point is that they're fake, and you live in an alternative reality for a break from this one, and it helps to shape this reality. I'm all for fake.
Have you watched the show that I recommended to you, Jury Duty, or the second season, which is called Company Retreat?
No, I'm now remembering that you told that.
These are on Amazon Prime. They are shows where everybody's an actor except one person who does not know that they are on a show. And
wow, it's not called White House 2026.
Yeah, really fun shows.
Okay.
Jury Duty and Company Retreat.
On this corruption deal,
yeah,
there's a reckoning happening across Congress and the White House. In the same day, a week ago, we have Eric Swalwell and the congressman from Texas resigning.
Gonzalez.
This week, yesterday, the labor secretary, whose name no one knows, because that's the way it's supposed to be with cabinet members. You're not supposed to know their names, right?
Totally.
If you know the name of a cabinet secretary in an administration and don't know the names of your children's friends or teachers or grandchildren's teachers. There was this like ad in the mall that's near my house that I've gone to much of my life. The thing where they'd have like in the middle of the mall, like the big poster size, larger than poster size. The thing would have the map of the mall on it.
Yeah, you are here, the directory.
Yeah. There was one 25 years ago or something, because it struck deep to the heart, and it showed the picture of some pop celebrities, which kind of attracts your eye. And then it says, "Do you know who these people are?" Question mark. And then below it, it says, "Do you know the names of your kids' teachers?" It was, I cannot remember what the campaign was for, but I'm like, that is spot on. I
Yeah,
borrowed
that's
that bit for 2.5.
just guilt and shaming people.
Just pointing out a sheer reality of the fact that I knew many of the people on there, maybe all of them. Couldn't tell you more than 2 of my kids' teachers' names. And a couple of my kids were in classes where they only had one teacher. I mean, maybe there was an art teacher, but nobody expects you to know the name of.
I could tell you Whimsy's main teacher,
Okay.
Miss Jones,
Okay.
choir director,
Yeah.
gifted
Principal?
and talented teacher, music teacher. Though, hey, listen, Doug, I don't know if this is a good sign or not. Whimsy, they have the stock market game at school, where they get fake money and they learn how to like buy stocks.
Okay.
Whimsy
We're done.
won. She won.
We're done as a country.
I have a text from her GT teacher. I have to take her to Little Rock to be like honored for being the like for winning, and she gets money. Like there's a prize, there's a cash prize.
Oh, hang on a minute. Real money is going to actually come out of the fake stock market. There's America.
$125 she's getting. She's
Well,
in fifth grade.
good for her to win. Just look, any win, good, congratulations. Is there plans next year for a crypto conference?
Crypto
Hey,
game. Yes.
remember when FTPs were a thing?
NFTs?
Thank
Yes,
you.
I do.
NFTs.
I was a big fan of NFTs.
What has become
thought
of
that
those? Are they still that just went away?
You know,
Billions
all-
of dollars exchanged hands, and then it just stopped.
Yep, pretty much.
Okay,
And so much of the energy in kind of new technology the whole blockchain stuff got eclipsed by AI. Now, I mean, one of the real questions is, will NFTs make a comeback like the QR code did? Somebody needs to do something. Somebody needs to write something about the QR code.
Right.
The resurrection of the QR code.
How
It
COVID
is,
saved the QR code.
I mean,
It's because we couldn't touch menus because they didn't want to print menus at restaurants.
I remember, QR codes 10 years ago were like a big deal. And then they kind of went away. And then it was stupid. It was like, oh, QR codes are, man, now they're back and ubiquitous.
They are better, and somehow we haven't figured out how to make them more design friendly. I mean, Tim Gilman,
They're still
designer for Vote
crazy
Common
ugly.
Good, he's done a great job. We figured it out a little bit, trying to hide a QR code in some other image, but wow, we're still having to do the 4 corners and the squiggly black and white thing. I don't know where we're going with that. Oh, Congress and its corruption.
Yeah.
Have Swalwell last week, the Senate, the congressperson. We have this labor secretary resigning, and you hear this story, and it's so Trumpy, it's unbelievable. Did you have you followed this one?
Yeah.
Another cabinet member in Trump's world, credibly accused of being drunk on the job. Not the FBI director, for whom an article came out.
Who's currently suing the Atlantic for reporting on him being drunk on the job.
Yes. For whom we have seen flying to other countries on U.S. tax dollar to chug alcohol while on the job.
Yeah, we have literally seen this guy drink on the job. All of us have.
Same thing with the labor secretary.
Which none
Her
of us have
husband.
seen. We could see her drunk on the floor in a bar, and would have no idea that she was the labor secretary.
No idea who she is. Former mayor of a small town
She could
in
walk
Oregon.
into this room right now wearing a sign that said, "I am the labor secretary,"
Yes.
and I still wouldn't know who she is.
And for 90% of the people, 99.9% of the people listening to this podcast, when they named cabinet members, would have not known that labor secretary was one of them. You might, right? You go through the list of the people you know that are cabinet members, and how many of you would come up with labor secretary until you think about that Reich guy, the former labor secretary that's making podcast video or TikTok videos.
Am I misremembering, or she was a little bit of a controversial pick because maybe she was a former Democrat, or
I don't know. She was a mayor of a town in Washington. Was just a one-term congressperson, but she had recruited a bunch of support from labor unions and working class people, and it was the Trump administration way. Well, then as it turns out, her husband she's only been in this job for a year, right? Like all of them. By the time they got formally through the process, maybe a few months over a year. Her husband was barred from entering the building because of sexually assaulting workers there.
I mean,
her father
at least
was text messaging with young staffers. It's insane. It is like the level to which, I've made this argument that Donald Trump only appoints people who will be worse at their job than he is at his job because he's tired of being the worst person at his job in the room. It just keeps being shown at every possible level.
I appreciate the commitment to the brand. There's a style guide that has been put out by this administration that defines here, and this is, we're not going to use that woke font anymore. We're using this font. I don't remember which one. They went back to like Times New Roman or something. Because we don't want to use any woke fonts. Here's this is the style guide. These are the colors. This is the right shade of red for your MAGA hat, so that you can match your tie to your MAGA hat. This is the style guide.
These are the shoes.
These are the these are the $140 Floorshine shoes that everybody's going to wear in the exact same size, regardless of how big your feet are. So you're going to clomp around in them like clown shoes, Marco Rubio. This is the style guide. And here's like the corruption we want is sexual harassment, sexual assault.
Nice.
And if we throw in a bit of drunkenness,
yes,
not required but acceptable. It's like the italics on the, you don't have to doll up the font at all, but if you're going to use this italics, you don't have to use a substance, but if you're going to, be a drunk. Unbelievable.
I mean, look, I am a big fan of the benefits of alcohol for social engagements.
Makes people tolerable.
I am not a teetotaler. I am not calling for some sort of abolitionist movement of alcohol, prohibition of alcohol. Drinking on the job, not always the best thing, depending on the job.
Yeah.
Airline pilots, do you remember, Rob, when we were, I don't know, teens, 20s, and there was great concern that airline pilots were still or continue like hungover drunk or just drank all night and were drunk when they showed up for the plane.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, maybe if the flight attendant seemed a little tipsy, he'd be slightly concerned. The pilot, no. No. Yeah. If you are a sommelier, you're going to drink on the job. If you're a whiskey, just saying, in a world of binaries, there are jobs.
If you're a bartender at a college bar and there's like, there's students buying you shots, you might drink on the job.
Could happen.
Secretary of War?
No. Secretary of War, you shouldn't be so drunk.
Director.
FBI
director.
No.
Labor
secretary. You know how important it is when people are in labor? It means you have to have your faculties about you.
Doug. I think this is a different kind of labor.
You can't. It's got to be all labor. It's just all the labors. Can you imagine Trump when he found out the labor secretary resigned? He's like, well,
how are women going to have babies now?
Who's going to make the birthing appointments?
Yeah.
And look, we are not done with the number of high profile people who are going to leave their jobs with an unbelievable amount of very bad behavior. Like Eric Swalwell, congressman from California, Democrat, was a candidate for governor. Drinking with employees and then sexually assaulting them.
Yeah.
Labor secretaries. FBI directors.
Department of Homeland Security directors.
Department of Homeland Security. It's Republicans, Trumpies, and Democrats.
Yep.
I don't think drinking is accused of the Congresswoman, Democratic Congresswoman from Florida, who is going to be expelled from Congress if she doesn't resign this afternoon because she was involved in Medicare fraud, not Medicare fraud, in medical COVID money fraud.
Yeah.
Whipped up a whole thing and got involved in all kinds of fraud and campaign finance.
No idea she was drinking while that was taking place.
There are no accusations that it was a Jack and Ginger fueled.
Jack and Ginger, wow.
You ever have that?
No.
Hey, the next time we do a podcast and we're gonna evening
it's an
imbibe.
Evening one, and I now that I'm campaigning for Congress, I cannot get drunk on a live stream, again.
Dude. I mean, look, I've gone to a lot of weddings.
Was that after a State of the Union? Oh,
maybe.
My goodness.
I can't remember. You can't remember even more, but I can't remember just because of age.
It made me want to drink.
But somebody should go back in the archives and dig it up.
Drinking on the job.
Like, how many times have you been a pastor and you've been at a wedding and you're the officiant?
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, I don't get to sort of enjoy the couple's celebration like I would if I was just a guest because I've been the officiant.
Yeah.
Good grief, you people.
Campaign. I have had multiple campaign events in the last couple of days or in the last couple of weeks where alcohol has been served. I don't have a drink until after my speech and my stuff is done.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be drunk when I'm doing my job.
Oh, it just is. It's truly something.
Yeah.
And look, Boehner was the Speaker of the House, and apparently either he just had sort of the Rat Pack vibe going with him, or he was just a functional day dripper, Yeah. It's no longer accepted. This isn't Mad Men. This isn't the night. I know there's a nostalgia inside of MAGA that wants people to go back to the times when America was great and you'd go to 3 martini lunches.
Yeah.
We are not even yet talking about the number of people in this administration that could be high all the time, because what has replaced alcohol for huge swaths is cannabis.
Yeah.
Now, thanks to Joe Rogan, hallucinogenics. Here we go. Did you see that press conference yesterday with Rogan where Trump announces that they're going to fast track FDA looking at a particular mushroom that can be helpful for people with traumatic issues?
I know what you're referring to, but I did not see it.
I didn't watch the whole thing, but Trump is there reading the description of this thing as if he's heard about it for the first time. Joe Rogan is standing behind him.
Yeah.
A podcaster.
A reality TV host.
Good point.
I mean that's
man-child. A man-child of intellect.
A color commentator for UFC.
A color commentator on American culture. Maybe a reporter asked, the segment that I saw, it was started with Joe Rogan speaking, and he said, well, I texted President Trump some medical information about this product because Joe Rogan apparently had some people on his podcast and was convinced that this could be very helpful for people, as a lot of people working in the area of hallucinogenics believe that it can change some brainwave patterns. Because let's not fool ourselves, what hallucinogenics do, they change your brain, and sometimes that can be directed in ways that can be positive, and other times you have Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. Joe Rogan says, I texted the president some medical information about this, and he wrote back to me and said, this is great. Do you want FDA approval? Rogan says, well, yeah. And Trump says, that would be great. Let's get it done. And Rogan says, I'm so glad after all this time we have someone who cuts through the red tape. Rob?
Donald Trump is not qualified to approve or disapprove any drug for human consumption. He's not a doctor.
He's not a doctor. And he's not Christ. And Christ should not be giving approval to medication.
The guy who suggested that people ingest bleach. Can't we just shoot a little bleach into their veins to take care of the COVID? What about the light therapy? Getting a little, flashing the lights on them. That will take care of the COVID. The guy who embarrassed himself talking about science during the COVID pandemic, which, by the way, he bungled, and 1 million Americans died.
Yeah.
1 million Americans died because he mishandled the COVID pandemic.
The FDA, one of the big governmental acronym organizations, is an independent federal agency.
That's right.
If Joe Rogan is right that the president said, do you want FDA approval? Let's get it done. Congress needs to investigate. Now, the thing that Trump signed yesterday does not fast track this particular mushroom-based hallucinogenic into use. It simply calls upon the FDA to do studies of its efficacy, not to use. So Trump has a campaign event in the White House bragging about what he's accomplished, not a policy position or anything else. Surrounds himself like it's a campaign event. Joe Rogan says, I texted the president, sent him some stuff, and he said, do you want to have FDA approval? And I said, that would be great. Now, here we are, days later. He's signing this thing to make the FDA have to look at this. It's not what they've promised, first of all. It's going to go through an entire long process of FDA approvals. But if the president of the United States is interfering with that process, the American people need to know. Yeah. Secondly, because anything Joe Rogan makes my brain just want to explode.
Yes.
If a podcaster, even of 4 to 6 million listeners, let me just make one point here. 150 million people vote in our presidential elections. 350 million people live in America. 4 million people listening to a podcast is not everybody. If a podcaster can move the president to actions that are so unthoughtful by sending a text message, imagine what the CEOs of major corporations could do. If you feel good that Donald Trump can cut through the red tape and get it all done, you feel good about random citizens that have some influence that Trump likes, just telling the president whatever they want to tell him. That's their pet project, and here goes the federal government off on that wild goose chase. Irrespective of whether hallucinogenic should be, this is not the process. This is corruption. It is a corrupt system when one unelected podcaster can move the federal apparatus, and I'm sure no one uses this term anymore, and I apologize for being so antiquated. Any libertarian who's bothered by the fact that the federal government has too much control in their lives, if you want that federal government to be directed and conducted by a podcaster or by a social media owner like Elon Musk that have no ability, capacity to make decisions about what the federal government should be doing, from Doge to a text change with Joe Rogan. This is not how the federal government should run.
Yeah.
Look, Democrats have to find a way to say, yes, we have to cut through red tape, but you know who we don't need to trust for this? Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Because the chaos, administrating by tweet is one thing. Administrating by incoming texts.
Yeah. I think this is what people mean when they say, you need to do your own research. Apparently is like you need to get texts from Joe Rogan. That's the equivalent of doing your own research.
It should make you sick that Joe Rogan's texting with the president of the United States. It should make you sick that reporters are doing it, that he's writing them back. This whole business, man, I remember, I'm so old. I remember when the BlackBerry came out and the level of concern about Barack Obama being the first president with a communication device. I mean, there were entire apparatus that were put into place to protect all that. Yep. Trump is on an iPhone taking incoming text messages from Joe Rogan. And days later, they're in the White House signing presidential decrees. It is nuts. Absolutely nuts.
Doug, speaking of nuts.
Whether you're for or against, not the point of the thing that they're texting about.
Yes. Speaking of nuts.
Thank you. I feel better.
There's been an election in Georgia to fill the seat vacated by Marjorie Taylor Greene in Georgia's 14th congressional district.
Co-laborer in our efforts to bring down the MAGA movement for its fraud. Co-laborer Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Candidate for Common Good alumni Sean Harris. Lost the special election, but moved the district 25 points in Democrats' direction. Really significant. And is continuing to campaign because this was a special election to fill out the rest of this term. There is on November 3rd an election for the next term. And so Sean Harris was defeated by a new Republican congressman named Clay Fuller, who posted a video that we're going to watch that I don't think you've watched, Doug. Have you watched this?
I have not watched this. I didn't even know who it was. When you sent me the clip and said, let's put this on the podcast, but don't watch it, I put it in and did not recognize the face of the person I was looking at.
Yes, this is the new congressman filling the seat formerly held by Marjorie Taylor Greene in Georgia's 14th, Clay Fuller.
Has he been sworn in yet? Is at the making of this video, was he a sworn in congressperson or just the congressperson elect?
I'm not sure if he's been sworn in yet. My guess is he probably has been, but they need his vote. But
so either the congressperson or the congressperson elect from Georgia's 14th district.
Yeah.
Okay. Yabbits, this is for you.
In Maryland for work, and I wake up and it is blazing hot in my room, so the AC's out. So I go to the front desk and I was like, hey sir, the AC's out, can you send anybody down to my room to help fix it? Said, well, it's not that it's broken. I have to understand that there's an AOC Green New Deal thing where if you're not moving in your room, the AC just basically shuts off on its own. Said, well, I'm asleep, obviously I'm not moving. And he said, well, don't worry, there's this VIP setting that we can override it and the AC will turn on. And I was offended. And I said, hey, I don't understand. I should already be in VIP mode because I'm from Georgia. He says, I don't understand. I said, well, Georgia is named after George Washington, who quite literally invented freedom. It's the birthplace of Ronald Acuna Jr. It's the birthplace of Gunnar Stockton. And he said, well, I'm immediately switching it to VIP mode. So I'm just want to say to the state of Maryland, I know that y'all are newer to the union and that you don't have a football team. And if Gunnar Stockton was born here, he'd play some fake sport like lacrosse. But AC has quite literally saved billions of lives. Socialism has killed billions of lives. So as we celebrate our 250th anniversary, let's not be like Europe, Maryland. Let's double down on freedom. Let's double down on liberty. And let's double down on being awesome.
Rob, I've become a moron from hearing it. It's catchy. It's catchy like COVID. That is stunningly stupid.
It's got to be satire, right? It's got to be. He's got to be joking.
Rob, I am not one to make fun. Look, our culture has been damaged by making fun of a group of people. We have to stop doing it. I don't want to do it. But that man's hat.
Oh, yeah. The backwards hat.
The hat shaming, which you see in these very comments.
Yeah, totally.
But honestly, the 1994 snapback hat.
Yeah. Turned around backwards.
Yeah. With the big egg in the middle of it. Yeah. His forehead.
Yeah.
And then the lower part where there's facial hair starts moving and the words start coming out. Yeah. This man is now the congressman from Georgia's fabulous 14th district. It's
got to be satire.
Shall
right?
we
It's
go
got
points?
To be. It's got to be. He can't think that Georgia is named after George Washington. He can't think that Maryland is new to the Union when it's one of the original 13 colonies. Maryland has football teams. It has the Baltimore Ravens. It has the University of Maryland Terrapins.
He can't not know that the motion activated sensors in hotel rooms are not activated when someone's checked in and in the room overnight. The air conditioning does keep running overnight when you're in the room.
You know what causes the air conditioning to turn off? When the room hits the temperature that's been set. If you want the air conditioning to stay on, turn the temperature down.
This is user error. Rob, I have been helped.
Patel. Have you read this thing about Kash Patel, the CIA director, and some of the stuff? So he has filed a lawsuit against The Atlantic for publishing a story about how he's drunk on the job. One of the stories that The Atlantic tells, that Kash Patel recounts in his lawsuit, is that Kash Patel had a total freak out, calling people and telling them that he had been fired as FBI director.
Yelling it from his office.
Because he could not get logged into his computer. And as it turned out, it was user error. He had entered the wrong password multiple times and gotten locked out like people do. He couldn't get logged in, and he freaked out thinking he was
and started yelling things like, they think they're going to take me down. I'm going to he's been on the verge. Rob, let's just talk about a couple things from the congressperson-elect or sitting congressperson from Georgia. You shouldn't be considered a VIP at a hotel chain because of the state you were born in or currently live in. That doesn't make you more important than all the other people who use the hotel.
That's right.
From the other states and provinces and nations.
You know what makes you important at a hotel?
Tell me, Rob.
Diamond status.
The amount of times that you stay at the hotel, not the state you are from. I mean, right. I have never heard someone grant such level of privilege to themselves to say, oh, hang on a minute. Your private corporation has a level at which they reward people for their frequent participation in their business. And I don't get that because you don't know that I'm from Georgia?
What's your status at what's your status at Hilton Hotels, Doug?
Okay. A week ago, I was in New Orleans. Nolans. To check into the hotel. And I looked at my app to get my stuff together.
Oh, you haven't been out on the road.
And it said, thank you for your previous diamond status. You're now gold or something that's not diamond. And it doesn't matter what the other levels are. It's like anytime you're in one of these things, especially through the travel related industries, so flights or cars or hotels, there's only one that matters. And that's the top one. And if you're not there, especially if you have been there and then you're not there, you don't care what you get at the other ones. And there were two lines, one for diamond members and one for the non-diamond members. And I got in the non-diamond members line. And when I finally got up to the front, the person said, thank you for your whatever status. And I said, yeah, until a few days ago, apparently, I was going to be able to be in the other line. She said, I'm going to give you all the things you'd get there. This, you're still close enough. Like she was. You're
getting in the 2 bottles of water and the cookie and the.
Yeah. So I used to be a diamond member, and there are many great privileges.
VIP mode on the thermostat?
Yeah, no, that's
not a thing.
Not a thing. Also, I don't know how powerful a congressperson elect thinks Congress people are.
Yeah.
AOC did not create the thermostat structure.
The Green New Deal has never been passed into law.
It's not a Green New Deal because that's not a thing.
Yes. And if the major corporation, Hilton, Marriott, whatever it is, if they don't want the ACs running all night, it has nothing to do with the environment and everything to do with their utility bills.
Yes.
They're trying to save money,
Yeah.
not the planet.
They're trying to
This has to be
extend
satire.
their business.
Doug, it has to be satire.
Really?
He can't be this dumb.
Why? Well,
Georgia,
but
named
why
after
would?
George Washington, the literal inventor of freedom?
Okay, yeah. So let's before we get to that, let's talk a bit about the idea that he thinks George Washington invented freedom. Yeah. Even if you want to say the founders of this nation invented freedom,
It's not true.
that's not what George Washington did in the. That's not the role he played.
Yeah.
He was the general in the revolutionary, violent rejection of the overthrow of the Kingdom of England.
Yeah, he was the general leading the Christian army in violation of Romans 13.
Now let's talk about Georgia for a moment.
Georgia was named after King George.
King George was named after King George, not George Washington.
Not General George. King
George Washington might have been named after King George, but you don't get to do that.
It has to be parody. It has to be satire. He has to be attempting to crack a joke because, I mean, when he says Maryland newer to the Union, Maryland was one of the original 13 colonies. Joined the Union same time. Yeah, I don't know. We either have Marjorie Taylor Greene has either been replaced by someone with a very subtle sense of humor, so subtle, in fact, that we have spent the last 10 minutes dissecting it as if it was real. Or Marjorie Taylor Greene has been replaced by the dumbest person on the planet.
When we first started talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene, I remember thinking, we're not going to talk about this person who's QAnon and she was running and believed all the QAnon things, and the person who talked about space lasers, and the person who talked about Jewish space lasers, and the person who talked about that the Parkland murder of high school kids was staged by crisis actors.
Yeah.
Since then, Marjorie Taylor Greene has said, I deeply regret that I passed along things that I was lied to about. This guy...
So I had to stay in a hotel in Maryland for work, and I wake up and...
has been lied to about so many things. Like
by the guy at the front. The guy's like, oh yeah, we'll put you in VIP mode that will override it. Click, 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 click.
When you take your
overnight person at the Hampton Inn in Maryland is smarter than this guy.
Thank you. I have been utterly amazed by the greatness of hotel staff.
Totally.
The overnight guy at the hotel is probably not the one who you want to understand how federal policy relates to corporate policy when it comes to business practices. If he tells you the Green New Deal that AOC put in place, you should know from that moment on that is commentary and not information. Especially. So this poor man has been lied to and then does what many of us do who have been lied to, propagate the lies.
Yeah.
And we all become a little moronic when we hear lies that have been told so many times that we don't even know how to unravel them. America is not made great by having football teams. And lacrosse is a great sport.
Oh, great sport.
What a bro. What a bro.
Yeah.
This is 10% of the birds are anchor babies. I don't remember how many of Donald Trump's children were born to women who weren't born in America. Didn't have legal status, but I think a lot of them.
Is it all of them?
Did you see that? Did you see the post that was about when Melania Trump said, "I met my husband at a gala that was put on by so-and-so," and somebody put up a post from Trump's former wife,
Yes.
Mavis, that said, no, correction. You met my husband at an event. He was married to me when you met him.
Right.
Just like he was married to you when he had sex with Stormy Daniels.
Yeah.
I don't know how I got on that. What's the trigger?
Yeah. You did not enjoy that Melania.
The corrupted mind of all of these people. And look, before we got on this morning, Rob, I was watching a Tucker Carlson YouTube video.
Yeah. Yeah.
I almost clipped some portions,
Yeah.
but then I listened a little longer.
How he's tormented.
He was doing an interview, and it was billed as like the corruption of Trump, how it's all lost. He starts with a little short monologue and says, for 10 years, it has been thinking in American culture that if you hate Trump, then you hate America, you hate liberty, you hate white people, like you have Trump derangement syndrome. Hating Trump is because you are all of these terrible things. That's been understood in America, blah, blah, blah. Basically, I want to make an argument now and show you that now the new breed of Trump haters, of which I'm a part of, Tucker Carlson implies, are people who are not those people at all. So I'm going to introduce you to somebody, my guest. Bugsy Carlson or something. Berkeley Carlson. Tucker Carlson's brother, who was one of Trump's speechwriters in 2015.
Yeah.
A big operative in
tremendously offensive phrase to refer to the former vice president.
Berkeley did.
Yeah. Did you listen to that part? Did you catch that part?
No, I haven't gotten there yet. A very, I mean, this guy deep in republicanism and all the rest. So they do an interview and getting to the point that this guy, Berkeley Carlson, has turned on Trump. And Tucker's trying to create a pathway for other super Trump supporters, more than just leaving MAGA types, but insiders. He's the icon of you can join me over here and you can hate Trump and not hate America. Right. This is Tucker's strategy. I'm listening to these two brothers. They start by talking about what got you so into Trump when nobody was. Like in 2015, you were, Tucker asked Berkeley, you were an early. He's describing the things that he thought Trump was so good on and so right about. And my mind was bending. It was horrible stuff. Like this is why people say that you are racist. Like it. Then they get on why they both hated John McCain eventually. Because John McCain was involved in stopping big tobacco, which is Berkeley guy was a lawyer trying to on the side of big tobacco. But their arguments of freedom, These guys were against the regulating of the use of tobacco and regulating advertising around tobacco. Like, it's an incredible picture. And I would encourage anyone who can tolerate this podcast to go and listen to that one for this reason. You get a mind map of these people.
Yeah. And just when you hear them talk about, and I've seen different parts of this conversation, when you hear them talk about distancing themselves from Trump, you talk about the tremendous regret that they feel. And you start thinking, okay, these guys have seen the light. And then the brother uses a phrase to describe the former vice president that I had never heard before and was so offensive that I'm like, oh, there's nothing. It was like, oh, I don't even care what they have to say. I was so offended by it.
Wow.
So much so that I will not repeat it. It was so offensive.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, please don't. I mean, it is mind-bending. Look, I've been around a lot, as you have. A lot of Americans, a lot of people who think a lot of things. It's, God love us human beings. We can come up with the weirdest, wildest explanations for things. There are no two deeper insiders that you could get access to as brothers that want to make a conversation public inside the MAGA Republican world than the children of parents who named their children Tucker and Berkeley. Look, if these guys were on, if there were two brothers involved in Democratic, liberal, wokey politics named Tucker and Berkeley, I think it's Berkeley. I can better get that right. Is it Berkeley? Do I have that right? Yeah, but so you look that up for us. People would be making fun of them and their parents nonstop. This bro,
So I had to stay in a hotel in Maryland for work.
would be all over two wokies named Tucker.
And Buckley.
Buckley, even more. Buckley.
Probably after William F.
Tuck and Buck.
They had
a Tuck and Buck family. They would be making fun of these guys, for not being bro enough.
The first dog that Vanessa and I owned was named Buckley.
Look, I go by Duke. You can't make dog human jokes and try to get a leg up on me. All right. It's mind-bending. So, look, this is what makes it hard for people, Rob, because you and I have been saying for nearly a decade now, when people turn their mind away from their vote and feel bad about it, just welcome them. But Rob, do you remember when you were doing church work and there was evangelism conferences and people would talk about reaching out to the unlikables and the unlovables and making sure they know that God likes them and loves them, and you have to figure out how to invite them into your church? One of the things that was very hard for a lot of church people at the time was that they didn't want those unlikable, unlovable, sinful people in their churches. They thought they acted badly. They thought they thought badly. They thought they'd have negative consequences on their children. They were trying to protect that. They were trying to do outreach in these churches, but then also try to create a culture that was somehow, redeeming. And these people sort of broke that. And a lot of us doing outreach work and said, look, if you're going to invite the left out, the left behind, the let down, they're going to be people that don't act like you and don't think like you. And they say things that will be so offensive. That's where we are in the we don't have to stay with the MAGA corruption movement any longer.
Yeah.
They're not all going to have fully become before they stopped believing. They're going to stop believing first, some of the things, and hold on to a whole bunch of other things. So this mind map you get from these folks is like, oh, wow. Somehow they still think that America's biggest problem is that immigration caused it to become so degraded and depleted and dirty. Literally said those words. I mean, you don't have to go to the border to see the impact of this bad border policy. You can see it all over America by how dirty it's become. And Donald Trump is so corrupt and so broken that he cannot be president anymore. Both of those things can be true. It's hard, man. It is.
Yep. All right. Well, we have gone into the afternoon.
Oh, wow. Should we start Cabinet Secretary day drinking? It's noon somewhere, says a cabinet member of the Trump administration. I don't mean to make light of people's alcohol addictions, and they've been high functioning alcoholics for a long time and have gotten along. I apologize for that. All right, let's just read about ourselves. You guys are great. I love the informal format. Yeah. I feel confident I'll get the straight scoop from y'all. I just happened to click on a link, and nearly an hour later, I'm still listening. Thanks for the information brought to me in a non-boring manner.
Hey, thank you.
Wow.
In other words,
wow. Keep going. Keep going. We're reading it.
In other words, don't go outside. Keep your eyes open.
What?
I'm referencing the death wish that I received earlier.
Oh, okay.
Well, thank you, Annette, for that.
Annette,
That's
very sweet.
Nice. I wish our wives thought the same thing about her.
And Annette, if you're not over on our YouTube channel yet, give that a try. Because look, the way the algorithm on Facebook works or anywhere else you're seeing this is that it directs you to this feed, and that's also happening on YouTube. But on YouTube, we can curate it more. And there might be a day where, like tomorrow, you think, boy, that was fun listening to those guys talk to each other and feeling like that's part of the chit chat. Wonder if there's anything else. And yeah, we did it last week, and we did it the week before that. And I think we're at like, I don't know, Rob, like hundreds of these. There's some number.
This is the second iteration of this podcast. The first iteration was called "This Guy's Got to Go."
Is that really where our versions of this podcast started? We started with "This Guy's Got to Go."
Yeah, that's where you and I started.
And then we turned it into a podcast. The "This Guy's Got to Go" wasn't. It was its
own separate thing.
It was. Huh. I'm just looking in the in some annals about the how many. Really? Yeah. You can't. Yeah. You just can't. You can't.
Riveting podcasting here as we look at our computers and mutter.
Can't just give me a number on the dashboard up here.
How many videos?
Yeah, how many podcasts itself? Because we've done a lot of other videos, but how many? Oh yeah. I swear I saw this number some other time. Hundreds of thousands of downloads, the things in 30 days, last 7 days. I thought I saw it. I thought it was hundreds. I was shocked at the number. Hundreds. All that to say. Annette, thank you. Hundreds of these exist in video format and podcast. And if you're not yet following the podcast, I don't know, why not go subscribe to our podcast? And then if you don't even listen to them, that's okay. It just helps the algorithm know that someone like you cares about people like us. That's a good thing. That can be a positive for people in the world. All right, you done? We had enough?
I'm done.
And thank you for saying you're going to check us on YouTube.
I'm looking for us on the Progressive Christian Podcast list
and see where we are. We've got to be there holding steady at 3 or 2. It might be the
Progressive Christian Politics Podcast.
You have to get the category even smaller for us to be.
Oh yeah, for us to show up.
Oh yeah, but you should make a shirt and wear it around in the district that says "I'm Georgia VIP." Everywhere you go, you just walk in, you're like VIP, man. They're like, hey, this is for only those who carry the American Express Gold card. And you're like, live in Georgia. Let me in. We get what we want because we live in Georgia.
There we are. We're at number 5. We are behind the
No.
best 60 progressive Christian podcasts in the United States. Practicing Gospel Podcast, number 1.
No.
Progressive Faith Sermons by Dr. Roger Ray, number 2.
Never heard of him.
Our friends at Grace Point Church in Nashville, Tennessee, number 3.
Geez. We can't beat a church.
Lady Preacher
sermon
podcast, number 4.
Well, I'm glad to be behind them.
The Common Good podcast, number 5. And number 6, always nipping at our heels.
Yeah.
The Clackamas United Church of Christ.
I don't know. Let's make our own list. Have AI. Hey, use Claude. Get AI to create for us a script that puts us at the top of progressive podcasts, and we put it out on some thing. So people, when they look it up, top Christian podcast, top political Christian, top podcasts about, we pop up. Just get the AI to do it.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm going to say it here publicly. There's 2 streams that come from the same river. One of those streams is I don't use AI intentionally. Like I don't keep an AI app or something. People do go down that stream. Then there's a stream where people say, oh no, I use an AI app. Then you get into these little cricks that run off of that stream. ChatGPT.
Yeah, it's the brand loyalty. It's like
Claude.
Do you drink pop or soda or not?
If you're
Oh,
like,
you do?
then
does
you're
that mean
into
Coke, Pepsi?
So I don't want to argue with the non-chat,
Right.
with the non-AI users.
Yeah.
I have no beef against it. If you don't want to use AI, great. If you think it's destroying the planet, sorry, the planet's being harmed. But if you think I can use my computer and that's okay, and I can't use AI because that would be bad, I think you should think about some things. But I don't want to talk with you about that. It's because you're comfortable where you are, and I'm glad you feel that way. But if you use an AI,
Yeah. If you're drinking Barks root beer, I want to talk to you about
A&W with that frosty mug taste.
A&W. Yeah.
Do you? So I've been a Chat GPTer. I think maybe because of you. No, Darren Peterson. Can't remember. Was very happy with it. Become very dissatisfied with their way of being in the world. Went over to Claude. Unfortunately, thought I should save $20 and bought the year subscription instead of the monthly. Every time someone wants to save you money, there's a hook. Then Google offers Gemini. Have you tried Gemini, Rob?
Yep. Not a huge fan.
I don't know what we have to speak of any longer.
Yeah. It's the people who use Gemini are people with Android phones. This is the breakdown. Gemini goes with Android. ChatGPT goes with Microsoft. Claude goes with Apple.
Well,
I don't know.
I will also say this.
Other stuff I need to do.
I'll also say this, Rob.
Yeah.
When we've been in mixed company when it comes to Android or iPhone people, not the Google Pixel phone folks, I'm sure Microsoft has a phone, not those people. An updated Android phone and an updated iPhone. Texting is a hassle.
Yeah, it is.
But the photos from Android phones, massively superior. All the time. There's not a time when I've been there doing 2 things, and it's not just Abe Bonowitz in his hands, it's all kinds of people like, hey, let's shoot a group photo. It's unbelievable how good the Android photos are. They're just...
And yet, here you are
Oh,
Settling for second best.
I will just say the experience of Gemini. Now, I'm not having it write code. I'm using it for research, looking up stuff, giving advice on things, general light use wear. It's the linen pants. Okay, let's be clear. I'm Gemini is like wearing a pair of linen pants for me. They're not.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not
so
wearing
you're like-
Dickies. I'm not out working. I'm not having it write before me code. I'm not having to write an app for me and having to integrate these things and having to pull these things and run for 4 days and then produce.
Yeah,
the
when
thing.
you're thinking about your day and you're like, I'm just going to do some normal work today. I'm not going to be digging in the yard. I'm just going to be I'm going to be sitting. I'm going to take a walk at some point, but I'm just going to be doing some normal work today.
Yeah.
I'm going to open up my pants box and I'm going to go past the jeans. I'm going to go past the red pants I wear because I'm not speaking at a Vote Common Good event. I'm going to go past the work pants and I'm putting on my linen pants.
Yeah.
And you pull those out of the bottom of the pants box and you put them on. That's what you're saying Gemini has been like for you.
Yeah, these are not. They're not the pants designed to do as I did yesterday, which was plant 10 arborvitae trees in my yard, hands and knees on the ground for hours. I did
No
that yesterday.
AI's taking that job.
That might be Claude or Chat GPT level of hard work. I'm talking about light and breezy. Find out some things, find out what this news story is, check the facts on something, maybe get an indication of what the watering pattern should be for some new arborvitaes. Gemini is just, partly because it's integrated, I think, into my Gmail. It knows things. It's great. That's where I am right now. Anyway, I've left the world. I'm open. I'm still open to class. I've got a 11-month and 15-day subscription left.
You just had to pull the trigger on the big stuff, right?
Yeah, because I have some very good friends that I trust their opinion a lot, and they were like, "That's your move." So I'm like, "Okay, I'm in." I make my move. I'm like, I can save, I don't know, became just over $20 a month or something if I paid by the year, and 25 if not, I don't know,
I think it's $17 if you.
17, yeah, okay, maybe it was just under $20 versus $19.99 or something. And so I'm like, I'm just gonna make it easy on my whatever. I just did it. I just did the year. As I sent you many screenshots, like, what is this thing doing? Why does Claude not work? Am I doing something wrong? What? I mean, immediately, like, getting into an abusive relationship, you start thinking maybe I could control my behavior to make it act better when you're in an AI abusive relationship. I don't want to have to manage my behavior to make the AI chatbot work better.
Did you ask it who the Pope was? Because your ChatGPT is about as dumb as a newly elected.
No. That's ChatGPT that continues to revert to the Pope is Pope Francis. By the way, if you run ChatGPT, just ask it who the Pope is. I mean, this was happening for me days after the Pope, or the day after the election of the new Pope, the anti-Trump Pope. And I was like, oh, yeah, was it Pope? It was just one time. I couldn't remember what the new nickname of the Pope was, the Pope name. And it told me that it was Pope Francis. I'm like, no. He died, a month ago or something. Still is a check to do all the time. Gemini is not that. Gemini has been right about the Pope every time.
Who is the Pope?
Okay, we going to try it again? This is where the fun. Annette, we blame you for this.
The current Pope in relevant context. Current Pope 2026. Pope Leo the 14th. Robert Francis Prevost in Chicago, 1955, has been the head of the Catholic Church since May 2025, making him the first American-born Pope in history.
Do you have ChatGPT still?
That's Claude.
Mine's making me log. Do you have ChatGPT?
Yeah, of course.
Ask it. I now can't log. I mean, I have to log into the.
Doug, I don't use the ChatGPT app.
Oh.
When I use ChatGPT, I use the Atlas browser. Have you used that?
I don't even know what you're saying.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Who is the current Pope of the Roman Catholic Church? Is Pope Leo XIV, born Robert Francis Prevost.
Robert?
Say Pope Francis. I can't read it, but
Yeah. Can you read it now? That's me going into the browser, chatgpt.com, typing into it, just who is the Pope? I'm not logged in. And it says the current Pope is Pope Francis. He has been the leader of the Roman Catholic Church since 2013. It's crazy. I don't know why you just typed in ChatGPT and it told you it was Pope Leo.
Yeah. I think I think the algorithm is goofing on you, goofing on Doug.
It's just like every once in a while the algorithm picks somebody and they're like, okay, with this guy,
that guy,
we're just
never going to tell him the truth.
He's going to be like a person that's on a TV show where there's a bunch of jurors and they're all actors in on the deal.
Yeah, totally. All right, we've come full circle. I need to go.
As of my latest knowledge, it's still Pope
Annette,
Francis.
for the kind words.
Okay.
Jim, good to see you. Glad you're able to join us.
Yeah, sorry for the late start today, friends. That was that happens sometimes around here.
Kimberly,
we're not. Hey, you don't set your clock by us. Let me just say that.
We were going to go at 9. We were going to start at 9:30 Central this morning, and about 8:45, my wife turns to me and says,
"I want to.
You want to go to Susan's for breakfast?" Well, I got a podcast. She's like, "Oh." I pulled open my phone and
the answer is yes.
Doug and said, "Hey, my wife just told me she wanted to go to breakfast." So we started late.
Hey, Rob.
Started late, went long. That's what we do.
A little marital advice to anybody, including you.
Yeah. When your wife asks you a question, don't call Doug to get the answer.
Don't ask no. Because we had a deal. We'd agreed on a time, and you were saying like, "Oh, can I move the time?" Makes sense. Yeah. If your wife uses the phrase, "Hey, you want to go to breakfast this morning?" You can say, "I want to go with you for sure, but I have a podcast. I want to go with you."
That's a good line.
It's a good line.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
I'm going to go use that. I'm going to somehow try to get Shelley to ask me, "Do you want to do something?" She doesn't phrase it that way. Boy, I wish she would, because I'd be ready. Man, I would be.
Except unless she suggests something you don't want to do.
No, the point of the answer is it's not about breakfast. It's about doing it with you. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Oh, but there are things that even if you were to do it with your wife, it still would be undesirable to do.
Hey, you want to go to breakfast? I want to go with you, but I actually don't want to go to breakfast.
You always want to go to breakfast.
I know. This is a point. Yeah. Do you want to go plant arborvitaes? I want to do it with you, but I actually don't want to plant arborvitaes. See that little pivot? Or if you can't, it's even better. But if you don't want to, it's real. I mean, send somebody on an emotional swing.
Yeah. So
this has been
the how to emotionally manipulate someone segment of the show.
How to say something that makes someone feel good portion of the show. Look, if you ever said to anybody, "Do you want to do this?" and they said, "I want to do that with you," yeah, you'd be like, Yeah. Look at those linen pants. It's like the Gemini of answers. All right.
All right.
Annette, again, you give us one compliment, we will stretch that into 15 more minutes of begging for another one. You know what's going to happen? I'm going to go upstairs and Shelley's going to be like, that was a long one. I was like, someone gave us a compliment somewhere in there.
45 minutes ago.
We stretched it into a double album.
Yeah. Just somebody complimented us. We went into self-congratulatory mode for 45 minutes.
And then lost track. All right.
All right.
Okay.